Movie and Music Network, offering underground, pop, and esoteric cinema. Discover more at movieandmusicnetwork.com. Abel Morales is an immigrant trying to expand his business in New York City. But 1981 proves to be a particularly violent year in the city's history.
We're at war here.
No, we are not.
You need to protect us.
Katie!
With rampant corruption, Abel tries to protect his family and keep his business alive in a most violent year.
Hi, I'm Salim, and I'm here with Scott and Zorianna. We're here to discuss A Most Violent Year. We've all just seen it. Zorianna, what'd you think?
Well, I do have to say this is probably one of the most original screenplays we've come across in a long time. In a year full of regurgitated things, things that kind of resemble other movies, there's nothing like this.
Completely. Yeah.
And that I really appreciate. And the fact that it's based in a real time period in New York, 1981, which was considered the most violent year in that city on record. I love that there's this truthful setting, but within it is a true story of the American dream.
This is an epic story of the American dream, one that reminded me a lot of The Godfather.
Thank you. Well, it's The Godfather, though, but it's the anti-Godfather. And he's the anti-Michael Corleone because of the fact of how he is presenting it. For example, in The Godfather, Michael Corleone gets brought into his business and he realizes that over time he has to become this gangster.
Right.
Whereas in this film, he realizes that if he becomes this gangster, that's going to be part and parcel to his enterprise's demise.
Right.
And I felt like that's fascinating. You don't see that in movies. It's always about, okay, I got to become the gangster. He's like, no, I don't want to be the gangster.
Well, he played by
Oscar Isaac.
Oscar
Yes.
Isaac, who
Abel, yeah.
follows up just an incredible performance in Inside Llewyn Davis.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't you think that he reminded you of both a young Al Pacino and Robert De Niro in this movie?
Exactly.
He was so great.
Fantastic.
It was so great.
Superb performances, but the writing and directing, J.C. Chandor, he is really just 3 films, really solidified himself as a great filmmaker. This movie is epic. The cinematography, the screenplay is very, very smart and challenging, but never too challenging to the point where it gets convoluted and you just don't know what's going on.
Exactly.
Chandor is very much a sort of like, you know, we lost Cindy Lumet a few years ago, and now here he comes to sort of pick up that mantle, but with a little bit of a twist, because even though the screenplay is a little bit slow, a little deliberate, then all of a sudden you've got these action sequences, these chase
there's a car chase.
scenes, you know, that come in to just move things along. And it's a very smart screenplay. Take a look at the character's name, Abel Morales. Abel is spelled Abel. Is this man able? Is he capable? He so badly wants to be able to succeed in this business. His last name, Morales.
Interesting.
Morals.
Ooh.
Does he have
look at you
morals?
digging deep,
Because this is, well, it was evident. When I
yeah.
saw the name Abel Morales, I just saw Abel and morals.
Yeah.
You know, and for him, morals are really important. Is this a bad guy who wants to be good, or is this a good guy who is trying to avoid being bad?
These people work very hard for their money. And these other guys are ripping them off, treating them poorly because they don't know. So when you look them in the eye, you have to believe that we are better. And we are.
I love that you brought up Sidney Lumet. This did feel like a Lumet movie, specifically in terms of its deliberately slow pacing, Prince of the City. Yeah. Now, because it was deliberately slow paced, you really get immersed in it. It sets an atmosphere, it sets a mood that is it's absorbing. And once you really get into the story and the complex characters, it is incredibly engrossing.
We've been talking about the acting. We have Jessica Chastain, and we have
Albert
Brooks and Oscar Isaac, and every single one of them brings so much to this movie. Jessica Chastain is amazing. We know that she's incredible, and she has such varying roles. And here, I love her. She's more of a boss than Abel is, and she's not just this mob wife who's just there to be annoying.
Yeah, she's
the second in command.
Yeah, she's
what
not.
I mean?
She's not Diane Keaton in The Godfather.
Yeah, she's like you don't want me to get involved. And when I heard her say that, I was like, oh, okay. This is a completely different kind of a mob character that I've seen, and I love it.
She's got the nails, the accent, the cigarette, and she's like pointing fingers at that cop, like just, you know, going for him.
My husband is not my father. Not even close. So if I were you, I would start treating us with a little more respect, or I guarantee he will make it his mission in life to ruin you. This was very disrespectful.
Well, Abel Morales, played by Oscar Isaac, what a complex character. And you just see how he keeps getting in over his head. He keeps digging himself a deeper and deeper hole. He's being investigated for fraud and tax evasion. Someone is stealing his trucks for the fuel, you know, and then he's dealing with his wife, who like really holds the cards in this whole situation here. It's just such a great way to just sort of snowball the stakes to the point where he is in over his head, but he never loses his cool.
He never loses his cool. Never.
And I'll tell you, Bradford Young is the cinematographer of this film.
Amazing.
And every scene is poetically and beautifully shot with moody lighting, atmosphere, dark, it's lush at the same time, to the point where it could have easily fit in with the kind of films that were coming out in the late 70s and early 80s.
Chandor's just, he's an auteur now. You know, this is his third movie. In many ways, he's still a very young filmmaker, but when you look at the body of work from his 3 movies, it just makes me excited to see what else he can accomplish. Margin Call, a very small, talky movie. All Is Lost, no talking.
Yeah, not at all.
His potential seems so limitless right now that it's very exciting.
A Most Violent Year is a most excellent movie, an American classic, one of the year's best. See it.
A very smart and original take on the American dream, coupled with fine acting and a filmmaker who refuses to be pegged into a genre. This one's a see it.
A beautifully shot, moody piece with an unconventional story and richly textured characters. A definite see it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yes.
To
A Most Violent Year.
And he's sexy. Man.
All right.
Yummy.